Hello everyone, welcome to Malaysian Chinese Kitchen. I am Linda, your host. With the Chinese New Year fast approaching, we are going to make some Chinese New Year cookies. Today's cookies are known as Kuih Bangkit. These fun cookies are made traditionally using a wooden mold like this one. The dough is pressed into the indentations and then lightly tapped on the counter to release it. If you do not have these molds, you can use small cookie cutters. Only 5 ingredients are required, and pandan leaves is one of them. Fortunately, pandan leaves can be found in the frozen section of most Asian grocery stores. Let's get started. To have light melt in your mouth Kuih Bangkit, it is important that the tapioca flour is dried out. Traditionally, it is pan-fried with pandan leaves on the stove in a wok. But today I'm going to put it in the oven because tapioca flour is very light and it will fly all over the place, making a mess. So here I have 1 pound of tapioca flour and 6 pandan leaves. I'm just going to cut it into 2 to 3 inch lengths and bury it into the flour. The pandan leaves will infuse the tapioca flour with fragrance. I'm going to place this pan of flour in the oven at 200 degrees Fahrenheit or 93 degrees Celsius. After an hour, it is time to remove the flour from the oven. This tapioca flour smells really fragrant. It is now nice and dry and is ready for our Kuih Bangkit. The flour is now cool, and so I'm going to remove the pandan leaves and sift the flour. The flour is really light and fluffy, so it's going to be quite messy, but it needs to be sifted. I started off with a pound of flour. After drying it out in the oven and sifting it, I'm now left with 14 ounces. And I'm going to reserve a 1/4 cup, which is approximately 1 ounce, to dust my wooden molds. This is a 14-ounce can of coconut cream. I'm simply going to remove just the cream part out. I have about 3/4 cups here. I think that should be enough for our Kuih Bangkit. Now it is time to beat the eggs and sugar. Here I have 2 egg yolks and 3/4 cup granulated sugar. The sugar in the US is much finer than the granulated sugar you would find in, say, Malaysia. So in Malaysia you would have to use castor sugar. Until it's light and fluffy. It is time to add the flour. And a little bit of the coconut cream. Continue to do this until all the flour is used up. If you feel it's a little too dry, add just a tablespoon or 2 more of coconut cream. But do not add too much. You don't want it to be too moist. Then you want to knead it until it comes together. Once the dough comes together, it is ready. You don't want it to be too wet or too dry. I am going to be using this traditional wooden mold to make the Kuih Bangkit. The first thing I have to do is to dust the mold so that when we press the dough into the indentations, it will not stick and will release properly. In the old days, my grandmother used to place the flour in a handkerchief tied with a rubber band, but today I'm using a muslin bag or one of these bags that I can buy easily and discard when I'm done. So now it's ready. I'm just going to pinch a little bit of dough and fill the indentations with this dough. Now it is time to cut off the excess with a butter knife. These can be reused. So I'm going to put it back in our bowl. And now comes the fun part. I'm going to place this molded cookies onto a parchment lined tray for baking. Now I'm going to use this larger mold. Do the same thing. Dab the indentations with some flour and then press the dough into the indentations. Again, trim off the excess. At some point, your mold is going to get clogged up, so simply use a wooden skewer to clean it out. Otherwise, the cookie will not form properly or it will not release properly. It is always a good idea to have a little extra coconut milk on hand. If your dough gets a little too dry, perhaps from exposure or from the edges or the excess, simply put it in a bowl and add just a little bit of coconut milk and then knead it together to make it pliable and soft again. Always cover the bowl with a moist towel to prevent the dough from drying out. If you do not have those wooden molds, you can also use small 1-inch cookie cutters like these. You want to roll the dough to about a 1/4 inch thick. Dip the cookie cutter in some flour and cut it. Now it is time to place them in a 325 degrees Fahrenheit or 163 degrees Celsius oven for 25 to 30 minutes. After 20 minutes, our small cookies are now ready. The bottoms are a little brown, so I'm going to take them out. And then the larger ones will probably go for another 5 minutes. And now it is time to place the customary red dot on the cookies with a toothpick and some red food coloring. And there you have it, light and fragrant Kuih Bangkit for Chinese New Year or any time of the year. Allow it to cool completely before storing it in an airtight jar for up to a month. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Please subscribe, and as always, happy cooking and thank you for watching.